Hello my wonderful subscribers, this is Lady Morbid Artist speaking, and this is my last sketchbook review of my 2016 sketchbook. By the way, Happy New Year! I hope you all had a wonderful and safe New Year's, and here's to hoping that we have a safe and wonderful 2017. So, these are the two sketchbooks that I finished. This is my main sketchbook, and this was the Inktober sketchbook. You saw that in the last video. If you have not seen that video, you can go check it out right now. But other than that, we're going to move this to the side. In this sketchbook, I left off in September. Then I moved to the October sketchbook for Inktober. So then we start off in November. For the beginning of November, I wanted to really work on sketching with just a pen. No rough sketching. Or no erasable rough sketching. I just wanted to sketch with a pen. So the first thing I drew was Rose Quartz from Steven Universe because I think she's really pretty and she's mysterious because you don't know much about her. But I've always liked her design and just I think she's really beautiful. So I thought why not sketch her, and again all with pens, no starting sketch. What you see is exactly how it started. I didn't erase anything. Moving on. I have a silly Celestia. The one thing about just sketching with pens instead of sketching with a pencil and then going over it with a pen is you have mistakes. Now the horn is a mistake. It was off center, so to compensate I shaded the bottom of the horn. So there's a little silly Celestia for you because I messed up. See, this is a bust. This is a bust that we had in the classroom and I wanted to sketch it. I sketched it in blue ink. I'm not sure who it is, but it's like Greek or Roman. I'm going to go through November pretty quickly. This was a photograph of a duck that was being captured by a dog, and I thought it was comedic timing that he was staring into the photographer's eyes, kind of just like, okay, this is happening. Thanks. This is a Sphinx. I sketched it again in ballpoint pen. And I really think they're cute animals, Sphinx, so I wanted to work on drawing them better. I sketched Lapis Lazuli dancing because I would assume that when no one's watching, she dances in the barn and lets her feelings out. Because her dress is very flowy. She would probably like die if someone saw her dancing. This is from a post little bub put on her Tumblr of her in a box, and I thought she was cute, so I wanted to sketch that out. These are the starters from the new Pokemon game Sun and Moon. FYI, if I was to pick a starter, it would probably be Litten. Second choice would be Rowlet, and then third choice would be Poplio. This is Beerus, the god of destruction from Dragon Ball Z. My friend the Invisible Mare reminded me about him. I actually forgot he existed. I mean, he's a Sphinx and he's purple and he's kind of the bad guy. So it's like, how could I have forgotten that he was a character? And I love it. Love it. Okay, this was set up in my classroom while I was waiting to present my final. And this giant panda has followed me this year throughout my school journey. I love sketching him, and he was with a guitar, so I'm like, yes. I could not let that opportunity go to waste. Here's Pinkie Pie and Rarity dancing at a holiday party. This was after my finals, and I was looking forward to the holidays. Started December. We always get a small Christmas tree, either that or a Christmas cactus. We get a cactus and we put it in our living room. Last couple years we've been getting an actual Christmas tree, and I wanted to sketch it in Sharpie just to try it out, and I don't really like sketching in Sharpie, so I figured that out. Now from here on I am using Touch 5 markers, a Christmas present that I got from my boyfriend, and I really love markers. Next year I'm going to be working primarily, at least in the beginning, with markers. It's my medium, I found out. So this is the robot Santa Claus from Futurama. States, I'm dreaming of a red Christmas, or a red Xmas, I should say. Excuse me. Then my favorite part of the Haunted Mansion holiday at Disneyland Resort is these man-eating poinsettia plants that sing along with Kidnapped Santa Claus and along with just the soundtrack when you're going through the ride. And they go, yeah, 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 yeah. And we called them the ya-ya-yas, or the ya-yas. And my favorite of the ya-yas is one that's eye is always a little bit bouncier and hangs a little lower than the rest. And his jaw actually is a little broken. And it makes me really happy to see him yearly. Because it adds to my Christmas experience. Or not to see him yearly, but when I do see him, it makes me happy. And then I wanted to illustrate a ginger dead cookie. Now if you've noticed something, I started, since using the Touch 5 markers, started doing one page because it bleeds through to the next. And I kind of like that look. Like, it looks cool. And bleeds through to the next page. And when I draw, I actually use this to color in with the markers, so that way the next page doesn't bleed. Well, in this case I forgot, and it made all these little marks in the background, which I think add to it. It adds to the piece. But here's my ginger dead cookie. I just decorated a bunch of cookies with my boyfriend and his family. And I wanted to do something Christmassy right before the end of Christmas. I think it was like the 24th or something like that when I posted this. Then the sad news of Carrie Fisher's passing. And then a day later, her mom died, and it was really hard for my family to hear that Carrie Fisher died, because we're really into Star Wars. I did this little illustration of her, and I know a lot of people did illustrations in memory of her, and they used the Princess Leia outfit, her original Princess Leia outfit, or the slave outfit, and I know that she hated the slave outfit. She absolutely hated it, so I didn't want to draw her in that. And I wanted to draw her in her most recent role in The Force Awakens, because I think she looks fabulous for her age, or did look fabulous for her age, even though a lot of people gave her crap for it. It's like, I'm sorry she aged, people. That's what happens. She can't look like she did in the original film, nor would it just be weird if she looked the same way she did when she originally played Princess Leia. But, continue moving on. I've been meaning to do another Fifi OHare 365 days of drag drawing. And I get so inspired by Fifi. And Jeremy does all the looks. Oh god, they're just so freaking amazing. And this was one of my favorites. I have a bunch. Like, every single time I see a look, I'm like, I want to illustrate that. But I have a few that I keep on my phone as inspiration to possibly sketch later. And this was one of them. And I love it. Love it. It's yellow and it reminds me of like the Mad Hatter, and I love it. And moving on to Sun and Moon. This is Big Sis Plumeria, and I don't play Pokemon, but my boyfriend does. And I also watch people play. Yes, I'm that kind of person. I watch people play games, I don't play them. Her mentality is somewhat similar to mine. You don't mess with my children. You don't mess with my family, because you just don't do that. You don't do that. And again, this is with the Touch 5 markers and with colored pencils. I don't think I mentioned that yet. I've been using markers and colored pencils, and for my portfolio class, those were like the main mediums I used, along with watercolor. So I figured out I'm like a mixed media artist. I use primarily markers, colored pencils, and watercolor. But that's what I figured out, so yay! And going on, the last 2 days of 2017, I really wanted to finish the sketchbook. Like, that was my goal, to finish the sketchbook. So I was thinking, what should I do? What should I do? What should I do? Maybe I should do something that do something that inspired me. And recently I've been watching Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends on Hulu. If you haven't seen it, I highly suggest it. It is honestly one of the best cartoons for kids. It's really pure. It makes you feel like a kid just watching it. And it could just be me because I grew up with it, but honestly, check it out. It's an amazing show. Greg McCracken, Lauren Faust, a lot of really talented people worked on it. And I really love the art style. So I thought, why not finish the year with honoring some shows that inspired me to become an artist even before I understood that was my calling. Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends was definitely a big point for me. I love every single episode of it. It's really great. It's a great show. Huge inspiration for me is SpongeBob SquarePants, and I know a lot of people are tired of SpongeBob because it's been on the air for so long, and honestly it has dipped in quality. The animation has gotten better, and people working on it still are putting their all, but it just doesn't feel the same. SpongeBob was more of the enlightenment for me, and this is when I really started to think, without even knowing it, like an artist. When I was trying to figure out how to draw like Gary, I'm like, okay, I started thinking of what's he primarily made of? Circles, you know, little ping pong balls on golf plugs, and I was just trying to figure out how all the shapes work together. And I once upon a time wanted to be a marine biologist, so SpongeBob was really cool to me because it had all these ocean creatures and but still cartoony, and all the different colors, and that's kind of when I started to think like an artist, which is really strange because to draw the characters I had to think of the shapes that made them up. And I wish I could explain it better, but I can't. Foster's was the first time I was like, I really want to work on a show, like a kid's show. I want to do art, and that would be amazing to work on a kid's show. And SpongeBob was the start of me thinking like an artist without me even realizing it. And now here is Futurama, Planet Express base. Futurama has been a huge part of my life. I said this before and I'll say it again. I'll be watching Futurama probably till the day I die. I started with it in 1999. I watched it from the very beginning. From the very beginning. I was in elementary school watching Futurama. Around the time, like the year after I finished high school is when Futurama officially ended. So it's a huge part of my life. I honestly don't think my humor would be the same without it. It's very smart. I love it so much. And then this is Sugar Cube Corner, where Pinkie Pie lives with the cakes on My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. And this show recently changed me for the better. It honestly did. I can honestly say it changed me for the better. I started editing music videos together with pre-existing media, making simple pony music videos on my first channel. It changed me so much. It helped me share things creatively with people. For once I was able to create things and see people enjoy them. That's all I've ever wanted to do. All I've wanted to do is make people happy, and I want people to be able to enjoy my work. And this show pushed me to that dream, to completing that dream. I've made connections through it, I've met friends through it, and honestly, it's weird to say, I never thought I would ever ever be into My Little Pony. Like, ever. But, I don't know. It's done a lot for me. I do have to admit that as a kid, I did rent out some of the old My Little Pony cartoons because I like pastel colors and it's a very colorful world. That was when I was a wee child. And my favorite episode was when the house appliances came to life. And the baby pony wanted to stay in the house with all the appliances. And it was like a mix between My Little Pony and the Brave Little Toaster. So that's probably why I really enjoyed that episode. But yeah, I basically broke that VHS. I watched it so much. And now I'm completely ranting. But yeah, it's just, and My Little Pony still going strong too. And then this is the last thing I drew for 2016. it was the last thing I drew, and I was so tired because I did all these three, or these four. Yeah, let's see, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, these four I did within 24 hours. So this was the last thing I drew, and I was so tired. And this is supposed to be my year, according to the Chinese calendar. According to the Chinese calendar, this is supposed to be my year, the year of the rooster. So I wanted to incorporate that, but I also wanted to incorporate how much 2016 sucked. Like, and a lot of people are afraid of the Grim Reaper, so I thought, why not have the Grim Reaper holding the rooster? Because this upcoming year, ugh, that's all I can say. Ugh, like. And with that ends my sketchbook. Oh my goodness, I did it. I completed this sketchbook. I did it. This was my resolution, to complete the sketchbook. I did it. And honestly, I would have completed it a lot sooner if I hadn't done back to back. Like, if I would have done it one-sided, I would have completed this a lot sooner. And with the next sketchbook, I will be doing it one-sided because I'll be using high quality markers, art markers that do bleed through. And if I hadn't done a separate sketchbook for Inktober, I would have completed sooner as well. But oh my gosh, thank you so much for joining me on this art journey. I have expanded, and I've changed so much over this year, for better and not for worse, but for better. Like, this is the first page, and this is the last page of my sketchbook, and they're somewhat similar in design. But I mean, I went from, like, this is probably one of my favorite pieces. Went from there. So let's see the beginning. Like, from drawing a gorilla, which is really funny because now Harambe, you know. I didn't know about that at the beginning of last year, but it's kind of funny. Yeah, that Harambe was killed. This is the first thing I draw for 2016. I'm psychic. But I went from this to like this. And that's a huge change. A huge change stylistically, and just I've really grown. And thank you again for sharing this with me. Thank you so much. And I hope to continue. I hope to continue to entertain you throughout the next year. I won't be doing a monthly sketchbook sharing with you, and then it turned into bi-monthly, and then it turned into, like, wow, you guys, thank you for staying with me, because I don't upload as much as I should. But that being said, I do run another channel, and I have my own life. I have a life, apparently, to take care of. So, I can't believe it's done. I will be keeping a sketchbook. I will continue to be doing sketchbooks, and maybe once one sketchbook is complete, I will go through it and share it with you. But I want to do more speed art videos with you. And I got a new art desk for Christmas, so it'll be a little bit more professional setup. So I'm looking forward to that in this upcoming new year. I'm looking forward to sharing more art with you. I'm looking forward to growing more with you. And from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you again for sharing this with me. And I hope that you have a wonderful 2017. This world is changing very fast. A lot is unknown for the future. I live in the United States, so honestly, we're all just kind of waiting for whatever's gonna happen. A lot personally I've gone through in this last year, and a lot to go through this year. Like this year I'm finishing college, so you know, a lot's changing, and I thank you again. Okay, enough rambling. Love you guys. This has been Lay Morbid Artist. Thanks for watching, liking, and subscribing. Don't forget to follow me on Tumblr, and see you next time. Bye!